having God give me my son has been a mirror to myself to see how God sees me, and the same way that God sees my enemy and the people that have done me wrong is the same way that I look at my son. The same love that I have for my son is the same love that God has for my enemy.
Coming live on your radio. What they want? That real and raw. How they get it? DJ Focus. What we doing? Making music, reaching the corner, and it's all for the kingdom. And we gon' make sure they know it. Ooh, 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 ooh. We gon' take it there. I like red letters over trap beats to fix it. Saying, ooh. DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh. DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh.
Welcome back, DJ Focus, Dice Gamble. You tap back into the Fixx, your source of faith-infused hip-hop, R&B, and poetry. It's time for our spiritual detox. Y'all know how we do it. We like to, highlight a little bit of everybody in our space, and not even in our space, but it doesn't matter. Artist, producer, athlete, entertainer. And I'm excited, man, because, we got a listen, he's an artist and a producer. He does a little bit of everything. And he a part of our little Wu-Tang and Christian hip-hop. We don't really have a Wu-Tang, but if we did, it would be heaven on earth. And I'm excited to have a conversation with the super talented 350. What's going on, brother?
What's up, my man? Well, thanks for having me, bro.
For
Appreciate
sure,
the
for
love, man.
for,
I'm always
for sure,
tuned
man.
in. Yes, sir.
That's what's up, man. So come on, man. Talk about the journey a little bit, man. Just a little bit of the music journey first, man. How did you even get into music? Being an artist, being a producer. Walk us through, you having this love for music and everything that you do in this space.
Yeah, man. I think my appreciation for music really came at an early age. My father was he played bass in the church. He ran the sound in the church. My mother was a singer in the church. So like 6 years old, I was playing drums. My dad taught me bass. From there, I went to guitar, piano, and you know what I'm saying. I was only allowed to hear Christian music, not even Christian rap, bro. So like Lecrae was off the table. You know what I mean. So
Mm,
it was only like Christian music and Spanish Christian music as well. My grandfather was a pastor, and you know what I mean. So it was a very strict household of mine. Come to I think about late middle school, high school, I get into rap, hip hop, and I'm just like hearing music all the way at one volume, so that makes sure that, my parents don't hear me. Hearing Eminem early. Get into high school, I'm a little more lenient with it. Start hearing Tech Nine, start hearing Slaughterhouse. Get my love for Kendrick. Just like all the greats, just going back, seeing everything that I missed, and in hip hop, the whole journey. And it wasn't until I came across this one album called Sylvia Demo by Isaiah Rashad when I was about 14 years old, and I was sitting in my classroom. I still remember that day. I downloaded it off hasalleak.com. It was a leak, and you know what I'm saying, I heard that joint. It was pure hip hop, pure soul, just smooth music, and I'm like, this feeling that I have right now, like I want to give that to people, bro. So since then, I've always been writing music since I was a kid, writing Christian songs in the church. Um, but it was at that moment I'm like, yo, man, I want to give this feeling that I have hearing this rap music to other people, and I want to do it in excellence. And you know what I mean? Here we are, man. It's just continue to evolve, consistently working, consistently starting on Audacity, going to Fruity Loops, going to
mm,
Logic, Pro Tools, just, you know what I mean, constantly just trying to
mm.
evolve and just work and get better. And it's just led me to where I'm at. And I feel like I'm still in that process of evolution, just continuously learning, continuously. I feel like once you get to one place, you realize how much more you have ahead of you. And it's just always like that for me. And I'm just always excited for the new stuff that I haven't heard yet. And just, constantly being a student of the game, bro. That's all it is.
What was your dad's first thoughts when you went to him and you told him you wanted to do rap music? Like, what was that conversation like?
Yeah, it was more so for my grandparents that they're like
Okay.
no, that's the devil. But my dad also, he was like, his thing was like his vice was Christian rock. So I'm heavily schooled on like Thousand Foot Crutch, Red,
Okay.
Skillet, of course. Just the OGs all the way down to like Emery. Just like Under Oath at the time. But he was just like, if you want to do it, like we went to the Christian bookstore. He bought me my first Grit CD. He bought me the
Okay.
Flame CD. The
Okay.
Flame. It was the one like the OG Flame CD.
Uh-huh.
Ambassador. He brought me the Ambassador where he's on the desk. The CDs, bro, and we were just and I just started studying, bro. I didn't have no, we didn't grow up with a lot, bro. So I had this cheap boombox, and all I would do is just listen, just know my attention just there, listening to the songs, reading the lyrics off the, back when the CDs had the foldables, and they
Right.
had all the lyrics and all that. That's what I was doing, bro. That was all I had to do, or what I'm saying. So I had no other anything having my attention besides just listening to the music, man. So I'm very blessed that he was lenient enough to like just give me that that olive branch and just let me continue to learn, bro. And yeah, man, if it wasn't for that, man, who knows where I'd be. I just went back because I moved to Atlanta, but where I'm from is from South Texas. I went back for the holidays and I actually found the Grit CD, and I'm like, man, you gotta let me have this. So I brought it back with me here to Atlanta. It's like, yo, now it's crazy how now I told my little brother 8-3, like, yo, now we're in the position like that they're in that point. You know what I mean? Obviously they're legends, we're not where they're at, but like we have the opportunity to be at where they were for us at the time, and to be speak to the other Mike. My real name's Mikey, the little Mikey back when he was a little young and 10 years old, just getting into Christian rap or just rap in general music, and just feed him and give him. So it's like repeating the cycle for the next generation to come, and they'll have even more access and be more blessed than I was at the time. And yeah, man, it's just mad exciting, bro.
Listen, that's what's up, man. I'm glad you shared that story. Definitely
For
with your
sure.
dad, helping you out and saying, all right, if you want to do it, you got to do it the right way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Most parents, like you say, would have just rebelled and said, no, you can't do it. So, shouts out to your pops for doing that. That was
Yo,
solid.
man, if I could say, man, I mean, I coming out to these doing these events, man, I see a lot of young cats coming up to me like, man, I'm a rapper, or like they're just like, yo, I'm a big fan of yours, and I'm just talking to them, and their parents are right behind them, and their parents are the ones like, yo, he's a rapper, man, you're gonna see him one day. And I always get a chance to remember the name, dap them up, because I'm like, this is what's gonna push this generation forward, man. Having the parents to fully equip and just support their children, man, in the right way. You know what I mean? To do something good for the kingdom, bro. I'm just like, I applaud every single parent that supports their kid in that way. As a new parent myself, I'm like, this is what it's about, bro.
Yeah,
I just
absolutely.
had to say that.
No, that's solid. So, as you progressed and you got better, what was that first like song either you made or song you were on when you finally knew like, no, I can really do this for real, for real. Like, because it's one thing
Yeah.
when you're playing around with it, but when you finally like, no, this is, you know what I'm saying? This is lit.
No, I know exactly the song, bro. I know exactly the song too, which is what's crazy, man. It's on my SoundCloud still. It's private though. I might, for when this drops, man, we might have to unprivate it, man, let it public. I was a kid, man, in high school. I was like a sophomore. It was called Space Flow, and it was just this one, and it's a boom bap beat. It sounded like an old Nas beat, bro, like from the Illmatic age. And it was just, listen to this space flow. I got flow. Like it was just this kind of like grungy boom bap joint, and I was just that's and all I liked at the time was like Tech 9 and Royce the 5'9", and saying Crooked Eye was like my guy, because I felt like their words were just like percussion on a beat. You know what I'm saying? Bat trying to get it back, coming on a rap. You know what I'm saying? It was like their words, their syllables just become like part of the beat. So I was just doing that, and it was just like up until that point, all the songs I made sucked, bro. They were just garbage, bro. Like I'm like, yo, I'm like, this is not for me, bro. I was just trying to do stupid stuff, but then when I got, you know what I mean, it took getting, I was trying to do the new school stuff, at the time with all my homies, like, but it wasn't until I heard that boom bap song, and I'm like, yo, I actually like just rapped, and I was like, I don't care, man. I'm gonna just rap on this. That's when it hit, and I was like, there's something here, man. Like, let's just keep going. Let's just see how far it takes us, bro. And we're still going, apparently. You know.
Walk us through your creative process, man. So, like, because you are very diverse, man. A lot of the MCs that you know, and rappers you brought up, I was actually surprised. I knew about, you know, the Texas and the Houston, Swisher House. When you said Swisher House, that made sense. Definitely when you said Royce 5'9", that made sense too as well. I can hear a lot of elements in it. And then
Yeah.
you messed me up with you being cultured in the Christian rock era, because now as I listen to majority of the stuff on Heaven on Earth, it makes sense now. Like the
Yeah.
sound. So, you know, walk us through your creative process. When you go in the studio, do you have to hear the beat, create the beat first? Are you already working on the hook? Do you got to write your verses?
So I like to do this thing where it's called lightning in a bottle for me, where it's just whatever is in the moment stays in the moment. You know what I mean? When I get into the studio, I just know I want to create something. So, I'm always getting beats, or I've made beats in the past, or what I mean, say I'm just it's just whatever I feel led to do, or just like, yo, I just hit the vinyl store. I just got a bunch of $3 bin vinyls, bro. Let's just spin them real quick and see what we can get, and just spinning the vinyls, having it connect to my dog, see what kind of sample we could flip. Uh but like I said, like start there, seeing where it takes us, and it's like, okay, if this ain't working, scratch it, and just if it is working, take it as far as it can go, and finish the song there. You know what I mean? As much as time permits, of course. Um, you know what I mean? So it's like when I'm writing the song, I don't go in with an idea. I go in and I just write, and that's how a lot of this album started, bro. And that's how I realized like how the concept came to be. It was just I went in the studio and I was just writing, bro. It wasn't, my son. I just found out my son was about to be born, and I was just like just spilling my guts on the pen, bro, on the page, and I was just writing, bro. And lo and behold, this whole album came out, and it was just all bitterness. And I'm like, yo, man, I'm just so bitter. And each song is talking about bitterness in that way, and it's just like that just is an ode to the creative process, where it's just like letting it speak. And I feel like, yes, it is creativity, but it's also spiritual. You know what I mean? Letting the Lord just lead the session, and just being like, you know what I mean? We're gonna go in here and we're just gonna let him flow. And it's good to always have ideas. There's always a direction, but I feel like if you try and make a single, you're not gonna make a single. You know what I mean? If
That's
you try,
real.
you know what I'm saying? Like Rick Rubin says, bro, like we're not smart enough to know what people are gonna like. You know what I mean? And the fans can, like, the fans aren't stupid. They can sniff out when something's ingenuine. Like, anyone can always tell when something's like, man, this is a TikTok song. Oh, this is that. They're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. So it's like making it a point to never go in the studio trying to do something. And it's good to have influence. Good to walk in with just something to let your spirit stir. Whether it's like hearing an album that I just heard, or just something that's been on my mind lately. It's good to have those, but going in and keeping that lightning in a bottle, and whatever emotion is on the page right there, keep it there. And what I mean, finish that idea, bro. And that's how all this album started. That's how Heaven on Earth started, finished. It was all in those sessions. We started them there, finished them there. There's always touching up, right? But as far as like the concrete, like meat and bones, you know what I'm saying? We do that there. And I think that's how, personally, that's just the best way that we found, for myself, me and Blaine, Blaine Stevens, the executive producer on this new album that we're putting out. That's just how we found it to work well. Same thing with 8-3, same thing with Heaven on Earth. That's just how it's been, bro.
So come on,
Yes,
350,
sir.
man. You've been talking some knowledge, man. I want you to share with the people, man. Has there been a moment, or has there been something maybe within this last 5 years that God has kind of revealed to you, shown you about yourself, whether it been your spiritual walk, maybe it's something that he wants you to do when you talk about, your purpose and your call, that he showed you that you kind of didn't know about yourself, that was like a wow God moment?
Dude, I think, yeah, we kind of touched on it before, dude. Like, when I found out my son was coming, everything in my heart just dropped, and I noticed it was fear, bro. Like, and it was this fear, and just I had to consistently examine myself, and just meditate and get in the Word, and just and I'm just like, why am I so fearful? And it was this fear of passing on this bitterness that I had. this fear of just all this anger, all this, just, because there's a lot of stuff in my life that I've gone through and experienced with a lot of close people. And if you've heard my music, it, parts of it, details, and dealing with suicide, dealing with just familial trauma, and just just a lot of stuff that it can take down a rabbit hole. But like, just having this bitterness of like not being able to enjoy my life. And and that's where, like, when I was writing the album, I started to notice, I'm like, man, I'm just so bitter. Like, the first track of the album is called Make the News, and it's like I'm literally bitter against myself for opportunities that I didn't do when I was younger. Or, I haven't called the best man at my wedding. I haven't talked to him in like years. And that's on me. Or, just stuff like that. And ultimately coming down to the point, like, if I didn't have this dream, if I didn't just continue with my life, I would have made the noose, kind of like a double entendre. Like, I would have offed myself, which I've talked about before. And it's been a very prevalent anger and bitterness cycle that I've gone through in my life. And it's just like, having God give me my son, it's been a mirror to myself, to see how God sees me. And the same way that God sees my enemy and the people that have done me wrong is the same way that I look at my son. The same love that I have for my son is the same love that God has for my enemy. And I'm just
That's
like,
good.
if I can't, if I'm wrestling with that, what I mean, if I'm consistently just coming and it's the cycle just going over again, like, all right, forget about it. I'm angry again. I'm bitter again. Forget about it. Then this is just, if it's not gonna heal, and it's just gonna be a curse that just pass down to my son, pass down to other children that I may have in the future. And it's just, man, it's been heavy, bro, and it's just been heavy. Now I'm grateful that God has exposed that in my life, bro. um and I'm grateful that I get to share that with the people, bro, because I feel like a lot of, we are all victims of our own familial trauma, and just of unhealed, things that our parents didn't uh take the time to heal in their own lives. I may have needed to word that better, but just, like, we're all victims of just what our family went through, and just how they let stuff pass down. And it may not be to their own malice, what I mean, or just on purpose, but it's just what it is. And it's like, if we can ask God to reveal those things in our life, how much can we omit from our future kids, or the kids that we have now, man. And it's very heavy. There's a lot of weight in that, because these are lives that we're talking about, and this is generations that we're talking about here, man. And it's not to be taken lightly, but we can walk in it with purpose and walk lightly, because we know that God's the one that's running this, man. And this is, this is his brigade. And like, we're just, if we're faithful and just keep our feet moving, bro, like, he is gonna work. And I'm just grateful that I get to see that in real time, bro.
Hey, did you have to go to any like form of like therapy or counsel to kind of deal with some of those past
Consistently.
childhood traumas? Okay, okay.
Yeah, consistently, man. And I'm not ashamed to say, like, I'm on, medication. I found out that, I was diagnosed with an OCD, obsessive disorder, which, was like, and you get to see why certain things happen in our life. You see the reason, but it's like, sorry, it's like, these are the result of things that have happened in our life. Like the anxiety, the depression that we have, these, most times, sometimes they're chemical imbalances that we have in our brain, but they're also just like a result of stuff that hasn't been healed, you know, and these are just symptoms. These are not the reason. It's like, so we have to see like, what I'm dealing with, and it's like, go back further and just kind of undig it and just talk about it. And it's not dwelling, bro. Like, I feel like a lot of people in the church will kind of see it as like, man, you're just dwelling in the past, and you're just kind of pushing it under the, what I mean, you're just kind of reliving it, and you're always just talking about this. It's funny, and I talk about it in my one of my tracks called How Could I Heal If I Forget. right? And it's this idea of like even of like no, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like God's got you, bro. Like just continue moving, bro. Like God's got you. Like don't but it's like if we don't address these things, if we don't like how can we heal from it like here on this earth? If we don't look at it and actually fight the battle that needs to be had with the things that's going on in our lives, how can we ever move forward? Right? It's just constantly going to keep going, and it's constantly going to be a cycle. And it's that saying, how could I ever heal in my life if I just forget, if I just push it back? So yeah, man, it's constant therapy, constant meditation, and first and foremost, it's just having that relationship with God where you can just every moment, the word says pray without ceasing. It's not like being on your knees, but it's like recognizing and in the moments when you're going through things, giving it to Him, saying like, man, this is I'm feeling this, God, like this is where I'm at right now, like, and just having that consistent conversation with Him, and just consistently just being one with Him, man. And Psalms 91:1, where He just talks about being our refuge, being the house that we live in, like we are there and we
That's good.
stay. And what I mean, it's like He is our protector and He is the one that's there with us, bro. So it's like that is the first thing that comes before therapy. But therapy and counseling, and if you need to, medication is very important, man. And I'm a big advocate for that. I'm a big advocate for having the best form of your life that you can while you're here on this earth, right? Like obviously this isn't our endpoint, but while we're here, God gives us the tools to have the best life, and that's obvious. I mean, and it's very prevalent in the scriptures. Proverbs is literally just a guidebook. Proverbs 1 through 9 is just literally a guidebook on how to live the best life that you can. If it was all about just getting into heaven, He wouldn't give us the tools on how to find a wife,
For
how
real.
to how to manage your finances, how to eat right. This is all in Proverbs. You know what I'm saying? So obviously this stuff matters to Him. So yeah.
You're gonna ruffle some feathers with that eat right. Shouts out to everybody who still fighting to realize
Hey,
that gluttony is a real sin, and our
gluttony
temple
spiritual, man.
is our body. Yeah, yeah. That's something that a lot of church folks don't talk about, and we bring that up on the show. That it's nothing against it, and I'm a big guy too as well. And shouts out to everybody who's been following me. Know that I've been coming down on my weight. I've been taking my health more serious, my weight more serious, because we represent God in all areas. So if we showing Him off this in a way that doesn't look, what I'm saying, and somewhat excellent.
Nah,
You
yeah,
got, I mean, seriously, I mean, you look around, we
you
talk about all the
for real.
churches. Why do you see so many, and I hate to say it, big boned people in the church?
Man, yeah, and why they serving all the what I'm saying, all the good stuff on Sundays, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but nah, but and I think also too, man, a lot of like if where I'm from is McAllen, Texas. You look it up and it is the obesity capital of the world.
Wow.
Of America, excuse me. And
Wow.
a lot of that is because of and the mayor was interviewed on this same subject himself, the mayor of McAllen, and he says it's because a lot of our people are uneducated, low resourced, and it's you know what I'm saying, it's more than just like, yo, stop eating, bro. Like it's and a lot of it is like, for me, I found it's a way to cope with the things that I have in my life. Like I have nothing to be happy about in the moment. The only thing that I have to look forward to is this next meal that I'm gonna eat, this hit of dopamine that I'm about to have. Like it's a real,
That's so
like,
good.
what I mean. It's a real thing that needs to be overcome through prayer and just spiritual counseling. Meditation with the Lord, bro. It's real. It's real.
Man, I got to get you back on 350. It was great talking with you, man. Tell the people, man, what they can expect from this project that's about to drop, man. When they finally sit down and listen to the whole thing from top to bottom, what's the takeaway you want them to take away, the inspiration that you want to give them in this project?
Man, when I was in ministry, uh, one of my senior pastors told me, people are gonna live down to the expectations you set for them. So it's like a lot of people complain about the audience of CHH or Christian music, but I put a lot of that blame on the artists. You know, it's like if we want our audience to grow, then we need to give them music to grow to. So the topic of bitterness, and even there's the trauma, and just even just all the way down to the sound of the album. It's not traditional, traditional formulaic music. It is, you know, to the best that I can put it, my most mature project to date. And I hope that people take away this mirror with them to examine the bitterness that they have in their lives and not take it lightly, man. And what I mean by not living down to those expectations is like, this is an album that I hope you will mature with. And I hope that you will walk away a better person in your faith, with your family, just in general in life, that you can walk away and examine parts of your life that you may have not examined yet, man. And it's, yeah, man. I'm very excited to see what the people's reactions are. I hope they love it. People, you know, from what I've been seeing, have liked the singles. Just excited that it's finally coming out, man.
That's what's up. Come on, 350. Tell the people how they connect with you, follow you on all your social media platforms, and introduce your latest single.
Yeah, man. My name's 350. You can follow me at 350 Music, 350 Music. Uh, New album is April 26th. You about to hear Crucero. Just came out with Fern and DJ Michael V. Love you.
Keep it locked. You tune into the Fixx. You know the Fixx is in.
Yes, sir.